Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, welcome. Excited to be here live today. I still get nervous getting live. You would think after all this time on camera, but just because I'm excited to be here today, I want to come live today to talk with you about a general unsettling that I am sensing in our society today around the uncertainties of, let's say, the status quo, be it political unrest, economic fluctuations, the season of summer. Anybody having those like dog days of summer where you want to go float on a raft in your pool, you're dreaming of your vacation, or maybe you're on vacation, but you're still like, I want to be on vacation, but I don't want my business to be on vacation. I want my business to still thrive. These are just some real realities, real concerns that I'm hearing from our clients and that I face and I think about. And so I want to, instead of just brushing it under the rug today and pushing those feelings aside and saying, just plug along and go for it, I want to take some time today to explore the realities of the season that we are in and to help empower you with the tools and the resources to not just embrace it, to adapt to it, but to thrive today and really in any season that we're in. Because ultimately what I do know is that when we build a foundationally strong business, we ultimately set ourselves up for success in the future. And we prepare an ecosystem where we can experience exponential success because of that foundation that's been laid and traction that allows us to thrive in any season, big or small. And when I think about the seasons of growth, I love to hear stories from people who have really been through them, who have not just talked about what they're reading or what an economist is saying, but somebody who is like, hey, I've been through that time, that recession. I've been through that downtime. I have been to the bottom and come back up, or I've faced some real tremendous amount of uncertainty in my business and life. And these are the things that I learned through that process and maybe some of the tools that I wish I had known along the way. So I'm very excited to be joined on this Instagram Live today by my colleague, Justyn Ashley Green, who is a strategic growth advisor over here at KLC. She is home based out of San Diego, California. Talk about dog days of summer. She's got some beautiful sunshine going on. So hopefully she's joining us from her backyard. Often she does. And over the past 16 years prior to joining KLC, Justyn ran a multi-seven-figure medical aesthetic and wellness spa based out of San Diego, building that company, eventually getting it ready for acquisition. And so she really has a strong command over not only the experience of being in the industry, but really building, running, and exploring the seasons of growth as somebody who had her finger on the pulse of the management, the behind the scenes of what was going on in her practice. And so she's truly an expert at helping practices learn how to navigate through times of adversity, developing vision and leadership through those times, and empowering team members to really step up and be a part of the growth through that process. So Justyn is, like I mentioned, a growth advisor at KLC. She works privately with our clients in our Pop Leadership Academy. And she also runs our certified aesthetic practice leader certification programs. So for those of you that are practice managers, have practice managers, or looking for a practice manager, she's going to be your girl that you want to talk to in terms of really taking in all of the pearls of wisdom that she has for you through this process and through this time. And so I'm super excited. Without further ado, I'm very excited to bring to you the woman of the hour, Justyn. Thanks for joining today.
Thanks. I'm so excited. I'm excited to do my first live with you.
Oh my God. I know. We talk every day, but like in this format. So excited. So Justyn, I want to dive right in because it's summer and people want to be at the pool. So we're going to get right to the point here and give everybody the nuts and bolts of what they came for, which is how do we beat the summer slowdown? Let's start by just talking about, I'm curious, Justyn, what you're hearing from your clients around the state of the economy, around this sort of season of the dog days of summer. What is going on out there?
It's no secret. Everyone's talking about what's going on in the economy, the interest rates and all of that stuff. It's on everyone's lips every day and in everybody's ears. And I think from a lot of our clients in the Pop Leadership Academy, we're right there with them. And I think that some of these concerns are uniquely special to leaders in our space. And it's real. It's scary. When you're staring something that's potentially going to harm your business or put in jeopardy the livelihoods of those people that you're working for, it's a real thing. So I definitely completely with you 100%. I don't want to brush it under the rug, but I really challenge our clients to think about what is slow? Like, what does that really look like? And what is it that you can do to really think through that? Like with one of our clients in the academy, I asked her, she was really months ago thinking about summer's going to be slow. Like traditionally, summer is slow. And this is not something that I've heard from just one person. This is something that comes up over and over and over again with our clients. Summer's slow. But then we kind of sat back, and this is our monthly call that we do every month. And it was like, well, isn't that what we talked about last month? Was June slow? No, not really. Was May slow? No, not really, because she had already been planning to do, like many of our clients, a spring live event. So she had this really successful event and then just has really been focused on strategy, on how to like ride that momentum. So really, we were kind of operating in this almost, I don't want to call it a scarcity mentality, but just like a little bit of like a fearful, cautious mentality, when really we weren't celebrating the success of the efforts that we put in months ago have really made a difference today. So I think it's important too to think about the strategies that you can put in place today that really make a big difference, not even the far off future. It can be something that you're doing right now.
I love what you're saying, because I think sometimes, and notice what I love about you is you said responsibility for the people you work for, because that's truly how we embody our role as leaders, is that we are showing up and preparing an ecosystem to support and provide for not only our team, but also our clients, right? We don't have a lot of people to check us. So when we say times are slow, what does that actually mean by slow? So maybe you're seeing some cancellations, or maybe you just know like, well, we can't really provide XYZ procedure because of the potential downtime. There's vacations, maybe teams taking vacation. And so maybe it's just instability, or maybe it's just the perception of the time that we're in that maybe we have to shift or pivot. It could be as simple as that. I love that idea of checking yourself and your mindset. So I would say for everybody here to actually write that down on a piece of paper. I would ask myself, like, what does slow mean? And am I okay with that? And so the reality is, Justyn, you've been through slow times because they do exist. And so that's why I really was excited to bring you to talk about some of those experiences today. And this idea sort of came about as we were having a call and you were saying, I wish I would have known these things that we teach our clients back when I first started and was going through some of these fluctuations of seasonalities in the business I was building. So talk to me a little bit about that perspective now.
Definitely. Like when we were having that conversation, I was thinking a lot about in the beginning when you're in that hustle mode and you're just like pounding the pavement, you're working in your business every day. Like all of our solopreneurs that are listening have their hands up, but taking the time when you do have a slowdown, doubling down on the gift that you're given, which is a little bit of extra time. Setting goals. Like I really wish that had become a norm early on in the beginning, is setting goals and then really reverse engineering how to make that a reality and really breaking it down into smaller bite-sized chunks on your plate and everyone else on the team. And I think too, knowing that in our industry that we have so many gifts, and part of that is that everybody on the team is responsible for kind of making the success. So that's huge. This industry is like the best. Medical aesthetics is killer. we have the ability to like hug our patients and love the people that we work with. It's like medicine to the nth degree of magicness. And we get to like make people feel and look their very best. So it's like we have all of these wonderful gifts that kind of make us recession proof if we can just stay in the positive. I'm not trying to be too woo woo here about it, but really it's like you can double down on kind of what it is we're doing here and who we're serving and really make a big difference. And so learning some of these strategies like goal setting, learning to get clear on what it is we're doing here, focusing on the bigger why. Like, look, we're helping people look and feel their very best. This is I want to say like a conversation or an educational avenue that you have to reach out to so many people in a very valuable way. And then knowing who it is that you're serving, like we call it in the academy, our MVP, our most valuable patients. Like, who are these people that really are bringing the maximum impact? And like, let's not worry on focusing on the most fearful people who are not ready to invest in themselves, because that's what our business is. But let's focus on the people who are really going to bring the impact, that are really open to what it is that we're doing, and just do that. Like, stay in our lane, be strategic with how we're educating ourselves and our team, make sure that we have the right people to help us. If we don't have the skills to deconstruct the goals, find the support and the community that can really help us do that.
Okay, so that was great. So that was a lot.
Sorry.
No. This is why we're here. And I know we want to get straight to the point, and I also don't want to rush through these really important points that you're sharing with us. So let me just take these in order. So number one, you talked about goal setting and reverse engineering and bite-sized chunks. Can you give like some practical examples of what that looks like and why that's important in a practice?
For instance, let's say you maybe last quarter or the beginning of the year, or maybe at the end of last year when all the reps are knocking on your door and they're like, hey, you need to buy this device, or maybe you bought like 4 of them. We've all been there. We've all done it. So you have this device sitting there.
Throwing tomatoes at your house here.
No, but I mean, you have this device. So I mean, that's one of the things. Like, I liked using a device as an example because we brought it on because we know it brings impact and change for our patients. It's in line with what we're doing, but it's an expensive investment, right? So we have this automatic expense. Typically, we've leased these devices, so we know it needs to make at least that much money, whatever our lease payment is.
My lease payment's $3,500 a month. So like I sell that plus every month.
How is it that we can break this down into a monthly piece? And then I like looking at it like, okay, we have this device. Let's put together a marketing incentive that's going to make this thing happen. But you can't just market it and then have team members that don't know how to even talk about it or run the damn device. So you have all of these little pieces that you need to put into place, but you already know what your financial goal is monthly. So you kind of reverse engineer like, hey, we need to make this amount of money. We have a marketing campaign set up for a couple of months. Maybe we even want to do like a case study so that we can really showcase the results that we are able to achieve with this device. So you kind of hit it from a bunch of different angles and then get everyone involved in all of those little pieces that are in play so that you can have success. And you know that if you invest in your team with some training, with some of the support that you're providing with great before and afters and all of that, that you can say, hey, I have an $8,000 a month goal right now. So we have all of these pieces in place in-house, and then we're going to put it out there to our followers and our patient base to really get them in the door and enjoy the benefits of this. So I think that's part of building a success story for your devices. That's really something that you can replicate in almost every area of your business, even rolling out a product and treatment bundle or something like that.
What about the people who are like, okay, Justyn, that all sounds great, but I need more patients? Because here's the reality, right? We're in a contracting economy. There isn't the same influx of new business falling through the door. And I do believe this is not a summer situation. Mm-hmm. This is the state of our climate right now, and it will continue to be. And so the great news about that is your competitors are probably freaking out. So there's opportunity to take advantage of that. But when you talk about like goal setting, those sound like nice to have things, shouldn't my goal be to just go out and find brand new patients and do my best to like market for new business?
I think that's an easy way. If you're just going to be like, yes, I need more patients, lots of them. I'm going to put my advertising out in every possible realm. Yeah, that's a common way that people go about it. But I really do think that especially during a slowdown, focusing on the people that you're already working with, people that already know what you're about and possibly and hopefully have experienced your team and your environment, the really magical thing that you're creating, I think doubling down on those people is really going to bring the maximum impact because they're already ready and they trust you. And that's another wonderful, magical part about the medical aesthetic industry is that what we're really doing is we're building trust and we're selling our expertise, not syringes and not zaps with a laser. We're really selling something bigger.
That kind of brings us into number 2. I appreciate that. Doubling down on client relationships was the second thing in your punch list there. It sounds like what you're saying. So when I think of the broader economy and consumerism in general, we are tending to see, as we see this economy contract, the money is still there. It doesn't go away. We still all have the same money we had. That's really discerning about where we're going to spend it. When I hear that as a business owner, my first thought is, how do I become the person, right? Or how do we become the company that somebody wholeheartedly, without a question, indefinitely wants to invest in? And how do I get them to invest with me sooner? Well, if we just look at buying psychology 101, to your point, every transaction in human history is built around an exchange of trust. If we go first to this place of seeking out new business, we still have to go through that same process, no matter how much we invest in this know, like, and trust process of acquiring a new client, which it's funny because it seems like sometimes when there's a contracting economy, see our numbers go down and we're like, oh, I need to step it up and market for more patients. So I'm going to just put a discount out there and more will come. Well, it's like, if that actually worked, why weren't you doing that before? So we always forget like the logic of what we're trying to build and why we do things the way we do when we're scared. So when you talk about scarcity mindset and we get into that fight or flight, I would almost encourage anybody who's listening to this to really question yourself, put yourself in check and be like, I probably should do the opposite of what my fight or flight instinctive response is to do, because we're just programmed out of fear to get out of danger, right? And like, what's the worst thing that could happen? So on the contrary to that, the opposite would be understanding that we've already put all of that time and effort and investment in, you call it the hugs, right? This bond and this relationship that we have with these clients that we have who wholeheartedly trust us. And when we trust somebody, that closes the gap for us and it eliminates that fear of the potential of what could happen if I make a bad investment. And so that should be the ultimate first place we go is how do we build trust with somebody? So that makes sense to me when we talk about setting goals, is that part of that goal setting process is helping our team imagine what it would be like to double down on trust building activities with the clients that we have so that they want to continue investing more with us, right? Instead of it just being about the transaction. So this is all making sense to me. I love this. Let's talk about practical ways, Justyn, of doing that. Let's say we all agree here that the goal here is to build deep trust with somebody as quickly as possible. Let's talk about what are ways we can do that. How can we create an environment where every patient who walks through our door feels like they can trust us?
I think making sure that your whole team really understands what level of guest experience you expect and create a structure within your business that can support that every single time.
Repeat that one more time.
Just making sure that your expectations around the level of experience that you have is clear for your employees and letting all of them have the support and structure that they need to make sure that it happens every time. Something else that's come up with many clients is, and I think a lot of people will empathize, they'll be like, why doesn't my front desk team get it? And look, I started out as a receptionist. I grew up in a hair salon. I've worked in the medical aesthetic industry forever. And I'm always like, dang it, like for a long time when I first started working as a receptionist, I worked in like a really nice salon in a really nice part of town. They wanted this really excellent attitude and like high level service from me. But I'd gone to Nordstrom's and like I'd done that thing, but I didn't really understand what a Chanel level of service was at that point. So I think sometimes you have to get creative in ways to like let people know what it is that you're expecting. Give them a great example. One of our members took their whole guest services team out to like a really fancy dinner so they could just have this amazing experience. And many of them had not ever even had an experience.
We're off gallivanting to 5-star resorts, and our team members like Sally, who's just scraping by to get coins in her car. That was me in college. So
yeah,
like a little 24-year-old Kaylee afford that kind of stuff. How would I know what good looks like if it isn't taught to me?
Yeah, exactly. So you have to like train your team on what that looks like and what your expectations are, and then create structure like SOPs and FAQ tools and things like that to really support them in their growth and understanding like not only the service, but if you're expecting your team to be knowledgeable about all the products, for instance, have you actually taught them about that? Have you actually like spent the time to get the rep in the door to spend time with them? Have you even given them the downtime off the phones to be able to learn the stuff? Another thing too that I find all the time is front desk staff has no real good products at home. How can you expect them to really love and speak to the benefits of these high-end products when they're using caca at home? Sorry, product caca. I don't want to name any names, but we all know what it is.
Okay, lovely. So this is interesting because I think we all intuitively know that our team needs to be dialed up. And I sort of, as we bring a little bit more context around this, like understanding that a consumer who is discerning about how and when they make investments needs to have a very clear confidence around the results, that how your solution is going to solve their pain. And I think the most valuable way, if I'm hearing you correctly, Justyn, is it's not out there. It's about what's happening in here. It's about what's happening with our most valuable clients and how we're continuing to up level to meet and exceed the highest level of standards that we expect. And I think pretty much everybody we work with will come in and tell us that I have worked my butt off to develop and build a company that has been accidentally and sometimes successful because I care so deeply and I'm so highly committed to delivering excellence at this level. And then they'll continue to do that and get busy and not do those check-ins on their team, not do the secret shopper calls, not just teach their team, but actually have their team teach back to them to audit their level of competency, their confidence around the way they communicate and articulate how those pain points can be solved through the products and services and the experience that they can provide for their customers. So that being said, let's talk about how we at KLC, what are we going to do about it? Because I'm telling you right now, when we got on as a team, the beginning of the summer, the end of last season, and we started to talk about what are we going to do about this fluctuating economy? How are we going to show up as a leader in this market and be the go-to place for people to come and get the support that they need? And the unwavering answer for me was the same thing that I showed up to do in 2020, which was when there was a lot of uncertainty around COVID. And you've been, Justyn, through a lot of waves, right? And a lot of seasons in your career and very colorful and dynamic experience building a practice from the ground up. And then as a growth advisor, helping women build multi-million-dollar empires here at KLC. The answer has always been to double down internally and to focus on the things that matter. One of the things we teach here is a complete mindset shift around most every business advisor and also what we do in building and growing a business, myself included, is we're constantly talking about growth. We're constantly talking about getting to the next level. How do we do more? And so in our mind, it's always about adding, adding, adding. And the difference here is the shift in, instead of focus on growing your business, focus in on growing your team who will grow your business for you. And ultimately, that is the recipe to building a foundationally strong and scalable business. So when you talk to me about standards of excellence, when you talk to me about doubling down on the client experience, and you talk to me about training your team to those standards and investing in them in a way that provides an experience where you as an owner and a leader of the business can be the visionary and you have a team that's going to kick it home. To me, the answer is extraordinarily clear. And that's that we need to find a way as a business here at KLC to support practices in doing that. And that was my challenge to you, right? How can we do that? So I want you to announce what we have coming up to solve this problem this summer. So everybody can beat the summer slowdown, but not just beat the summer slowdown, just freaking crush it the rest of this year and beyond.
Yes. So when we were having that conversation about what is it that people need, when we're dealing with our clients and trying to support them through getting out of overwhelm, like everyone comes to us with their hair on fire, they want to get out of overwhelm. They know they need team or they need to like make some changes or restructure, but they don't know where to start. And believe me, I get it. I was there. And then we started thinking like, okay, what is it that people need? They need like their communication skills. Everyone wants to learn about how to dial in and build SOPs. Maybe they have some, maybe they have none. They don't know where to start. I've been there too. So we had started with some of our favorite topics, which is the It Factor Bootcamp with our other coach, Krista DeNargo. And she takes people through this really amazing program to just really figure out what your story is and how you can deliver it to the world with impact. So that's an amazing offering that we were going to bring to everyone. And then we wanted to also create an SOP building workshop. But we didn't stop there because why would we? And we went even further. So we decided to make a summer school program that's going to be from now till Labor Day. Every Friday, we're going to have live workshops that are going to bring impact every single week. So we have on deck, white glove customer experience. We have writing job descriptions. I mean, come on. If you want to build entrepreneurs in your business, they have to know what their job is. And then on top of that, they need to know what their key result areas are, like what it is that you really expect from them so that they know what success looks like and that you know what success looks like and that you're going to be holding them accountable to that. We also have the It Factor Bootcamp, which is going to be the 24th through the 26th of July. So that's outside of the Friday norm. Hold on, there's more. Maximum impact from your marketing efforts. So we're going to be building marketing and all that other fun stuff. Sorry. I love the marketing plan.
Thank you. So introducing and welcome to Summer School. We're really excited to tackle these things. So when we look back at, we talked about the goals of how do you beat the summer slowdown, setting goals, and you talk about KRA. So a lot of times we'll have owners come to us and ask us to help them build their KPIs for their team, which we like to call key results areas. I think it's a better way to really, rather than performance indicator, it's a way to think about what are those results that I'm looking for somebody to accomplish to create success for the company and ultimately profitability for the company. And that starts with setting goals and reverse engineering those goals. And then you talked about doubling down on client relationships. And so that's all about the white glove client experience. That is about shifting the mind to, in our practice and the way we talk and the way we communicate with our team, away from transactions and toward relationship building. That is going to close the gap in terms of what number 3 is building trust. And then number 4, you said, was to set standards of excellence. I don't think we do this enough. We should have a level of excellence that we have written standards for in every department of our company in every aspect and element. So we do this through our business manifesto, and we do this through asking ourselves, what is it that I expect of the experience of everybody who walks in the door here? And then number 5, you talked about investing in team and doubling down into obviously strengthening your team so that your team can become the catalyst for growth for your company. So instead of thinking about adding, we're thinking about eliminating complexity and focusing in on the things that are really going to drive results. And that's what you do when you have limited resources, which you don't, but if you do, with a mindset shift, if I invest in the things that are really going to drive results for my business, then I can feel really confident about what I'm not just building now, but into the future. I love all of that. So essentially what we're talking about here is spending your summertime. If you're leaving, I know like me, I go on vacation and I want to take a really great book and I probably am going to watch that course or I'm going to take some sort of learning opportunity for myself so that when I have that space and I have the creative insights to really think about the visionary plan for the company, I have those resources for myself. So our summer school is going to be a series of live classes that if you're away on vacation, your team can be really getting stronger each week, working with us on all of these topics. And you can be getting stronger, whether you're in practice, you have a slow day, or you have a busy day and you're going to be going away on your vacation. You can have access to all of the recordings of these great sessions that you shared with us, Justyn. So I'm really excited. We are going to be announcing this. If you're watching this or listening and you aren't a subscriber to our email list, the Blueprint, head to klcconsultants.com/blueprint because we're going to be sending out the summer schedule next Monday in the Blueprint. These classes are all going to be offered for a very small fee with the goal of sign up for one or all of them, as many as you think would be valuable for you and your company. It's something we haven't done and nobody's doing. So I'm excited to really step up in leadership. And I want to thank you, Justyn, for the brilliance, for bringing not only the great insight and ideas, the education around how we can beat the summer slowdown, but also the solution that we get to bring to the marketplace to support our clients and now the worldwide community in aesthetics and wellness who are looking to really sharpen the pencil and make summer a season of prolific growth for them and their team. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for everybody who joined live. And I will post up in the notes here on how to get access. Again, klcconsultants.com/blueprint if you're not on that, or you can send me a DM, just type in summer school and we'll make sure we add you to the list of the schedule that comes out on Monday. All right, Justyn, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Listen, leader, if you're vibing with me here, hang tight because I have a brand new resource for you. You are a successful, confident, powerful woman who just isn't into being average. No, you have a calling, and part of that calling is requiring you to level up. And I know that if you're working to cross the next $1 million milestone in your business, you need to be in the right circles. And perhaps that's why you found us. I'd love to invite you to join The Blueprint, a weekly resource for inspired, provocative thinkers who are taking this conversation to the next level. Get access to free business tools, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me and my expert team. And of course, a masterfully curated circle of women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetics and wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to klcconsultants.com/blueprint. It's time to elevate. See you there, goddess.